All right, Austin, let's take a look at your golf swing here after we did a little bit of work while you were in town. And so I've kind of just got an older video up here on the left side. I think it was from November sometime, so I think right when you first moved down there to Florida. And then the video here in Madison when you were in town. So what we're kind of looking at here is just the traditional, see how well you're doing with key number one. So it's the lines I've got drawn already. But one thing we've been working on is your wrist position. So if we look here, so we go to your old to position 2, which is club parallel to the ground, you can see right here how your club face is pretty much almost toe up. Not necessarily a bad thing, but it's not a good thing either. You can see how your arms are starting to already cross your chest. Your left arm's starting to pinch against your shoulder there. Now let's look at the work that you've been doing and see where you were tonight. So you can already see the club's going back a lot more square to your hands. And so right there is about parallel to the ground. And you can see here now this time your club face pretty much almost matches the spine, which is about what we want when the club's parallel to the ground. It should match closely to that spine angle. The other big thing to look at, you can already see here with the old, it's starting to work behind you, where here it's not. And you can see your arms are more even with your chest. So they're working together. They're more in unison, right, than they were before. So your sequence is going to be a lot better as we keep moving. So let's keep moving all the way to the top. You tend to get a little bit long, which we know. So right here, what I'm going to do now is draw an angle here down, kind of the back of that, and then down. So you're about 170 degrees. So you've only got a 20 degree of flexion, or extension, excuse me, on that right wrist. So extension's bending back, flexion's where it bends and stretches forward. So let's go now to our new motion. You still are going to get just a hair long, but not as long as you were, because you can still see the club. But now if I draw that line, that angle here again, so you've got 10 more degrees of extension there than you had before. And we could even use a little bit more, get it bowed a little bit more with this left hand and get just that right hand supporting the club just a little bit more. The other big thing I want to look at right here too is where the butt end of the club is. So all good players tend to have the butt end of the club someplace pretty much right over the right heel. So you can see here if we come straight down, it's more over your balls of your feet, which isn't a bad thing. It could just be just a tiny bit deeper, where if we come over to the new with a bit more support in the hand, you can see here now it's right over your ankle. So you're going to see your turns a little bit more efficient, a little bit more steady, everything. Key number 1's better. It looks like key number 2's going to be working a little bit better, because you can see over here on your old one, it kind of look like you're tipping over towards the golf ball a little bit and kind of falling over slightly, like you can be pushed over real easily. Where after we did that work while you're in town, we don't see that look anymore. So now let's keep kind of looking at this coming down. So now you can see your first dive, and the club dives and works outward. Gets steeper, right? Boom, 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 boom. I mean, look where that is. It's going through the right shoulder at position 5. So position 5 is where the lead arm is parallel to the ground. Now let's see here. So we worked on trying to flatten this out a little bit. Boom, see how it's shallowing out. Boom, 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 boom. So now it's parallel to the ground. So you can see the difference in that angle. We can even draw it out here again. So come over 0 and then go up it. So 117 degrees versus with the old motion. So you're 4 degrees flatter. We could be just a hair more, but that's a big change, really, if you think about it. And it's not just the change in exactly how steep it is, it's a change in where that club's going. So you can see here, it's falling down and into the slot some, right? Where this one over here, the old boom, boom, you can see it's kind of just pulling over the top. Boom, 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 boom. Now it's way out in front of you at position 6. So 6 is where the club's back to parallel to the ground. So now you can see here, it's on your toe line. So big thing that we want to look at, pretty much, you know, when the hands get about waist high, so you're in between these two frames. If we look and see where our left arm is pointing, that's going to be the direction our club's going to travel. So the more left our club travels, the more fade and pulls we're going to get. And over on this one, you can see it's almost right at the target to slightly to the left. So you're going to get more push draws, and that's what we saw in the range with this one here versus the old motion. So you can see that's a big change. This one's going left quite a bit. This one's down. Hands stay on that target line a little bit more. Stays in front of you a little bit more. We get a little bit more push draw. So you can see here the club's exiting a little bit higher, more through that left shoulder. It's just more of a fade with the old swing and a little push draw with the new swing. So a lot of good improvements, and I liked what I saw. So keep working on those wrist angles, especially in the short game. Keep working on it with the chipping and putting, and that'll help you in those areas as well and bleed into the full swing. So keep up the good work.